You know, if Andy Serkis can't get an Oscar nomination for his motion capture acting, maybe he can get an Oscar nomination for his directorial debut, Breathe. Breathe, directed by Andy Serkis, starring Andrew Garfield, Claire Foy, David Wilmot, and Hugh Bonneville. This movie is based on the true story of Robin Cavish, a man that contracted polio back in the 1950s, played by Andrew Garfield in this movie. And what happens is the polio that he gets makes him paralyzed from the neck down, and he's forced to have a artificial respirator in order to help him breathe. And because of the love of his wife, he strives to live a full life and gets somebody to invent a portable respirating machine to help him breathe, built into his wheelchair so he could live a full life and watch his son Jonathan grow up. Robin Cavish saw the hospitals as prisons. Now, he knows that the people in the hospitals were doing the best they can to help their patients and alleviate their pain and do whatever they could, but at the same time, keeping them in the hospitals and not letting them experience the outside world is a form of imprisonment. And so he wanted to help free himself and free other patients that are in the same condition as he is from their predicament with the help of the portable respirator. And that's pretty much the plot of this movie. Now, I really like Andrew Garfield and I like Andy Serkis a lot, so hearing that this is Andy Serkis' directorial debut, even though he directed another movie, he's directing his own live-action version of Jungle Book, but that movie is being delayed for another year or so because of the Disney live-action version that came out a year or so back. So we're getting this movie first. And this is an excellent movie. Andrew Garfield does an amazing job playing Robin Cavish, who is paralyzed, and at first he wants to give up on life and doesn't want to live anymore because he doesn't feel he can live in his condition, but his wife doesn't want to give up on him, played by Claire Foy. She is determined to live with her husband and fight for the marriage that they have, and have Robin get to know his son Jonathan, who was born after he got the polio, and see him grow up. And that becomes one of the central focus points of the movie, as well as Robin's fight for other disabled people that are in his similar condition so they can live just as much of a great life as he's living. And the movie is really good. Andrew Garfield and Claire Foy have great chemistry in this movie. You really feel the love that they have for each other, and the actors that they got to play Jonathan in the movie do a great job in the film as well. Hugh Bonneville plays the man that invents the portable respirator that they build into Robin Cavish's wheelchair, and he was great in the movie as well. Amit Shah plays one of Robin's doctors in the film, and he was really good in the movie. The name of his character is Dr. Khan. And then you have David Wilmot, who plays Robin's best friend in the movie, who's also paralyzed, Patty, and he's really good in the movie. I did like the friendship that they have in the film. Now, one of the problems I was concerned about going into this movie was the fact that I was going to be comparing this to The Theory of Everything, which was a Stephen Hawking story starring Eddie Redmayne that came out a couple years back. And yes, this movie does have some similar characteristics, since Stephen Hawking does get paralyzed as well, and that movie shows how he lives out his life and despite his disability. But the difference between Theory of Everything and this movie is, I think I actually like Robin Caviss's character even more, because he becomes a stronger fighter and becomes a fighter for other disabled people, which that is awesome and makes him much of a hero to these other disabled people, because they want to live a full life just like he is. And the marriage that Robin and Diana have. This movie is excellent, and I think it's actually better than The Theory of Everything. There are very few flaws really with the movie that I can find, really. The acting in this movie is so good. I can see Oscar nominations for both Claire Foy, Andrew Garfield, and a Best Director nomination for Andy Serkis, which could make up for the fact that he never got an acting nomination for all the motion capture he's done as Gollum or as Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movies that come out recently. So overall, I'm going to give this movie an A. It's one of the best films of the year. Definitely check out Breathe.